there, I'm Janet. Welcome to this lesson. We are going to tackle an essay from Inheritance by David Mulwa. Drawing illustrations from David Mulwa's Inheritance, write an essay to show how moral decadence among leaders affect the society. Good behavior is meant to be a basic fabric that holds together a proper and upright society and should trickle down from the leaders to the citizens. However, we do not see this in Kutula Republic led by Lacuna and his cronies. Their immoral behavior leads to deplorable living conditions for the citizens of Kutula. When they feel that enough is enough, the citizens resort to a peaceful uprising to oust the immoral leaders. Lacuna Castle is cruel and inhuman. Menga calls him a thoroughly debased moral reprobate. He callously poisons and kills his father King Kutula due to his greed for power and leadership of Kutula. He takes advantage of his father's trust and love for him. He laces his tea with a poisonous powder, killing him despite the fact that his father loved him. The king died slowly. He later conspires to kill Romance Bengo, a fearless critic of his leadership. He calls him a thorn of his political side. Judas then Melo, Bengo's brother, refuses to take up the dirty job. Lacuna punishes him by having him beaten mercilessly, fires him and snatches him of government house and car. Later, when Lulu refuses to marry Lacuna, he ends up killing Judah as he refuses to give his blessings for the marriage and tries to cover up by blaming his death on the old rotting machines. Robert Rollaston and Lulu reproach him for this murder. Lacuna's actions cause misery to Bengo, who is held unlawfully for a long time. Judah's death causes Tamima, his wife, untold pain. She cries bitterly and confesses when she learns of his death from Reverend Sankoi. Lulu is also badly hurt and left without a father. The entire family suffers. Furthermore, the whole nation is affected by the death of their compassionate and prudent leader, King Kutula. Lacuna does not seem to have a problem with having blood on his hands, as he had killed his own father to ascend the seat. Surely, leaders' moral decadence has adverse effects on any society. Secondly, the leaders oppress the citizens of Kutula. Roman Benko is an activist who is against Lacuna's poor leadership. Lacuna plans to have him killed. Luckily, the proposed hitman Judah declines the job. As a consequence of his dissidence, Benko is illicitly jailed for a long time, so as to be silenced as the dysentery prevailed. This fuels Bengo's spirit even more, as when he gets out, we are told, he is even more determined to dethrone Lacuna. Lacuna intends to marry Lulu forcefully so as to appease the ancestors. As Lulu is reluctant, Lacuna locks her up in the castle for almost a month against her wishes. Lulu suffers and cries the whole time. She's also embarrassed by the humiliating thought of marrying an old woman whom she respects as a parent and a leader. Tamima is also constantly troubled of her daughter's whereabouts. Lacuna's immorality affects Bengo and Lulu adversely. The leaders exploit the poor citizens of Kutula. Lacuna is inefficient and hands off as a leader. Chipade, his crony, buys fertile land from Tamima for peanuts and uses his influence to convince Lacuna to deny other people license to grow coffee. When he buys Tamima's land unfairly, he says he cannot compete with a peasant. Since her husband is unemployed and thrown out of his government house, she's forced to pick coffee at Chipande's farm in order to raise money to feed our children. She works extra hours from cockcrow to sunset at no extra pay. She has to walk a long distance to and from work. She's unable to give her children a decent lifestyle. Lulu is out of school for she cannot afford to pay her school fees and other related levies like construction fund. She thinks of having her study on credit. The stress caused by this leads to anxiety and a strain in their relationship. Lulu asks her parents to seek help from Chipande or Lulu, oblivious of their true colors. She even hints of using her beauty to gather money to complete school and be a doctor. This angers her mother, who threatens to beat her up. The exploitative leader causes the citizens pain. Lacuna is a greedy narcissist. He borrows money from abroad to develop his country and better the lives of the citizens, but instead enrich himself and his friends. Much of the money is stashed in his offshore accounts in Canada, Swiss, and Luxembourg and Manhattan. He uses part of it to buy himself an expensive jet aircraft to fly over his petty subjects. He distributes the spoils from the loans to his tribesmen and friends in leadership and pockets 30% of the balance for himself. His greed and selfishness denies the people a just and progressive leader in King Kutula. The citizens reminisce about his good leadership with fondness of heart. When Lacuna's accounts are frozen, he plans to make his people pay for his excesses. He also plans to overtax the companies in Kutula and keep the returns for himself so as to continue being rich as citizens suffer. Lacuna intends to forcefully evacuate the occupants of Bukelembe Valley so as to satisfy Robert and Goldstate's wishes and secure a loan from them. His greed makes the citizens to wallow in abject poverty, while he lives in luxury in his large palace with many servants and titular assistants. The citizens of Kutula suffer unemployment. They also suffer low wages and long working hours and poverty. They revolt and overthrow Lacuna. In conclusion, the leaders of Kutula fail to uphold good morals for the well-being of their subjects and instead end up hurting the very people they are supposed to serve. It is not a surprise when they are overthrown and taken to jail by the citizens. Thank you so much for watching this essay. Kindly remember to like, to share, and